Hello, sweetheart. Can you tell me your name?
Lily.
A kind nurse helped a struggling single dad in rags on a stormy night, not knowing he was hiding a powerful truth. Days later, a millionaire shows up at her door. But this isn't about money. It's about kindness, trust, and a choice that could change all their lives forever. Marina Vale had learned to recognize pain before people said a word. It was in the way someone held their breath at the reception desk, the way a mother smiled too quickly to hide fear, the way an old man kept folding and unfolding the same paper because the hospital bill had more numbers than hope. But the man who stepped into Willow Creek Community Clinic that rainy Thursday night carried a different kind of pain. He looked like someone who had been walking through storms long before the weather turned bad. His coat was torn at the cuff. Mud streaked the knees of his jeans. His dark hair was damp and pushed back badly, as if he had run his hands through it 100 times. In his arms, a little girl rested her cheek against his shoulder, pale and exhausted, one tiny hand clinging to his collar. The receptionist glanced at him once and looked uncomfortable. "Sir, urgent care intake closes in 12 minutes, she said. The man swallowed. "She has a fever. She's 5. Please." Marina was walking past with a file in her hand when she heard the word please. Not loud, not dramatic, just broken enough to stop her. She turned. The little girl's eyes fluttered open. Marina noticed the dry lips, the flushed cheeks, the small tremble in her fingers. "What's her name?" Marina asked. The man looked at her like he wasn't used to being spoken to gently. "Lily," he said. "Lily Cross." "And you are?" He hesitated for half a second. "Caleb." Marina noticed the hesitation. She also noticed his hands. Rough-looking, yes, but clean. Careful. Protective. A man pretending to be smaller than he was. That thought stayed with her. "Bring her back," Marina said. The receptionist lowered her voice. "Marina, he hasn't filled out—" "I'll handle it." Caleb looked almost ashamed. "I can pay something. Not much, but—" "Your daughter comes first," Marina said. Something changed in his face then. Not relief exactly. More like grief. As if kindness had found an old wound and pressed on it. Inside the small exam room, Marina checked Lily's temperature, oxygen, pulse, and breathing. Caleb stood close, but not in the way. Every time Lily moved, his whole body reacted. "You're her dad?" Marina asked. His eyes stayed on Lily. "Only parent she has." There was a whole story inside that sentence, but Marina didn't push. She had seen enough people punished by questions. Lily had a strong fever, dehydration, and a chest infection that needed attention quickly. Nothing hopeless, but serious enough that ignoring it would have been dangerous. Marina moved with calm speed. Medicine, fluids, a warm blanket, a soft voice. Caleb watched everything. "You're good at this," he said. Marina smiled faintly. "I've had practice." "No," he said quietly. "You care. That's different." She didn't answer right away. Because caring had cost her. Her rent was late. Her car had a warning light she couldn't afford to fix. She worked double shifts and still sent money to her younger brother in college. People called her kind like it was a compliment. But some nights, kindness felt like a debt she kept paying with pieces of herself. Still, when Lily's small hand reached for her, Marina took it. Caleb saw that. For the first time all night, his guarded expression softened. After 2 hours, Lily was sleeping properly. Her breathing had steadied. The rain had slowed outside, tapping against the clinic windows like tired fingers. Caleb stood near the door, holding the discharge papers Marina had helped arrange. "I don't know how to thank you," he said. "Take her home, keep her warm, follow the instructions." He nodded, but didn't leave. Marina looked at him. "What is it?" Caleb's voice dropped. "Most people looked through us tonight." Marina folded her arms, suddenly aware of how tired she was. "Most people are tired too," she said, "but that doesn't excuse forgetting someone is human." He studied her with a strange quietness. Then he reached into his coat and pulled out a small silver ring, not an engagement ring, a plain men's signet ring, scratched at the edge, with a crest Marina didn't recognize. He held it for a moment, then pushed it back into his pocket. Marina noticed. Caleb noticed that she noticed. For a second, neither of them spoke. Then Lily stirred and whispered, "Daddy?" Caleb's entire face changed. The guarded man disappeared. Only the father remained. "I'm here, Bug," he said softly. Marina looked away, giving them privacy. But as Caleb carried Lily toward the exit, he paused. "Marina," he said. She turned. His eyes were different now. Still tired, still sad, but sharper than before. If someone came back after a night like this, would you believe they meant it? Marina gave a small, tired smile. "I'd believe their actions." Caleb nodded slowly, as if she had given him an answer to a question he had carried for years. Then he stepped into the wet night with his daughter in his arms. Marina watched through the glass doors as he disappeared under the streetlights. She had no idea that before the week ended, that same man would return to her door in a tailored black coat, with a driver waiting beside a quiet luxury car, and a ring box in his hand. By Saturday morning, Marina told herself to forget Caleb Cross. That was what sensible people did. They helped someone, wished them well, and moved on. But she kept remembering the way he held Lily. Not like a man embarrassed by responsibility, like a man terrified of failing the only person he had left. At the clinic, the next 2 days moved fast. A flu wave filled the waiting room. A toddler cried over a scraped chin. An elderly woman forgot her insurance card and apologized 6 times until Marina squeezed her hand and said, "You're not a problem." Then, near closing, Dr. Harlan called Marina into his office. His face looked tight. "Marina, did you approve unpaid treatment Thursday night?" Marina felt her stomach drop. "For a child," she said. "That wasn't your call." She needed care. She also needed paperwork. Marina stared at him, tired enough to be honest. "Paperwork doesn't breathe, doctor. Children do." He looked away first. But consequences still came. Her hours were cut for the following week, not officially as punishment. Nothing was ever official when people wanted to stay comfortable. Marina walked home that evening under a dull gray sky, anger and worry twisting together in her chest. She had helped a child, and somehow the world still found a way to charge her for it. At home, her apartment was small but warm. A thrift store lamp, a cracked mug, a plant by the window she kept saving even when it gave up on itself. She opened her mailbox and found a cream envelope with no stamp. Inside was a handwritten note. "Lily slept through the night. Fever broke this morning. She asked if the nice nurse with sad eyes was okay. Thank you for seeing us. C." Marina read it twice. Then once more. She hated that one sentence reached her so deeply. The nice nurse with sad eyes. She placed the note on her kitchen table and sat quietly for a long moment. Across town, Caleb Cross stood in a glass-walled office above the city, wearing a suit that made him look like a completely different man. But he didn't feel different. He felt exposed. For 3 months, he had been testing his own company from the bottom. No boardroom tours, no arranged charity visits, no polished reports from executives. He had worn old clothes, taken buses, sat in waiting rooms, and watched how people treated those who had nothing to offer them. Most failed. Marina hadn't. His company, Crosswell Holdings, owned medical centers, housing projects, and private care networks across several states. His late wife had believed wealth meant nothing unless it protected people when they were most vulnerable. After her passing, Caleb had buried himself in work until Lily barely recognized him without a phone in his hand. The night Lily got sick, he had not planned a test. That part was real. His car had broken down outside Willow Creek. His phone had died. His daughter had been burning with fever in his arms. And for the first time in years, money had not helped him fast enough. Marina had. That truth unsettled him. His assistant, Naomi, entered with a tablet. "You asked for the clinic review." Caleb turned. Naomi hesitated. The nurse who helped Lily had her hours reduced. Caleb went still. "Why?" "Unauthorized intake." His jaw tightened. but he kept his voice low. Find out who made that decision. Already did. Dr. Marcus Harlan. Caleb looked out at the city. There were easier ways to handle it. Fire someone, send a donation, make a public announcement. Rich men loved dramatic solutions because they required less humility. But Marina had told him she believed actions, not noise. So Caleb did something quieter. On Monday morning, Willow Creek Clinic received an emergency compliance audit from its parent network. By Monday afternoon, Dr. Harlan discovered that his patient denial practices had been documented for months. By Tuesday, Marina's hours were restored. And by Wednesday, the clinic announced a new hardship care fund for uninsured families. No press, no cameras, no applause. Just a policy change that should have existed years ago. Marina knew something had shifted, but she didn't know why. Until Wednesday evening, she returned home after a long shift and stopped halfway up the path to her building. A black Rolls-Royce waited near the curb. Not flashy, not loud, just impossible to ignore. Beside it stood Caleb, but not the Caleb from the clinic. This man wore a dark, tailored coat. His hair was neatly combed. His shoes were polished. In his hand was a small velvet box. Marina froze. For a second, all she could think of was the torn sleeve, the rain, Lily's fever, the way he had said, "You don't even know who I am." Caleb stepped forward slowly, careful not to rush her. Marina. Her eyes moved from his face to the car, then back to him. "You lied to me." He accepted it without defense. Yes, that surprised her. Most people rush to explain. He didn't. "I didn't lie about Lily," he said, "or being her father, or needing help. But you let me think you had nothing." His face tightened. "That night, I felt like I had nothing." Marina's anger faltered, but didn't disappear. "Who are you?" Caleb took a breath. "Caleb Cross. I own the network that funds Willow Creek Clinic." The air seemed to leave her chest. She almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was too much. "And now what?" she asked. "You show up like this and I'm supposed to be impressed?" "No." He looked down at the ring box. "This isn't what it looks like." Marina raised an eyebrow. "It looks like a rich man making a very strange decision on a sidewalk." For the first time, Caleb almost smiled. Then his expression softened. "It was my wife's ring." Marina went quiet. Caleb opened the box. Inside was not a diamond meant to overwhelm her. It was a simple antique ring, delicate and warm, with a small stone set in gold. "She told me once," Caleb said, voice low, "that if I ever forgot what kind of person I wanted to be, I should find the person who reminded me." Marina's eyes burned despite herself. "I'm not a symbol, Caleb." "I know." "Then why are you here?" He closed the box gently and held it at his side. "Because Lily asked when we could see you again. Because your kindness changed something I should have fixed years ago. And because I wanted to ask you properly, not to marry me tonight." "That would be unfair." Marina breathed out slowly. "Then what?" Caleb looked at her like the answer mattered more than his pride. "Dinner. With me and Lily. No car, no performance, no secrets." The suspense in Marina's chest turned into something softer, but still cautious. She looked at the Rolls-Royce, then at the man beside it. "Bring Lily," she said, "and leave the car somewhere else." Caleb nodded. "Fair." Marina turned toward her building, then stopped. "And Caleb?" "Yes? If you lie to me again, I won't be kind about it." This time, he did smile. "I believe you." For the first time in days, Marina smiled back. Not fully, not safely yet, but enough. Caleb arrived the next evening in a plain, gray sedan. Lily was in the back seat, holding a small paper bag like it was treasure. When Marina opened her apartment door, Lily lifted the bag proudly. "I brought muffins," she said. "Daddy didn't make them. He burns toast." Caleb looked embarrassed. That's accurate. Marina laughed before she could stop herself. And that small laugh changed the room. Dinner was simple. Pasta, salad, and lemonade in mismatched glasses. No expensive restaurant. No cameras. No performance. Caleb listened more than he spoke. Lily talked about her school play, her missing front tooth, and how Marina had magic nurse hands. Marina watched Caleb with her. He never checked his phone, never rushed her sentences, never treated fatherhood like a burden. Later, while Lily drew at the table, Caleb helped Marina wash dishes. "You didn't need to fix the clinic because of me," Marina said. Caleb dried a plate carefully. "I didn't. I fixed it because you showed me what I was ignoring." That sounds polished. It's not. It's uncomfortable. She looked at him then. That honesty mattered. Over the next weeks, Caleb kept showing up differently. Not with gifts, with time. He brought Lily to the community garden Marina volunteered at. He listened when clinic staff spoke about broken systems. He hired a patient advocate team, but made sure Marina wasn't used as a publicity story. Dr. Harlan resigned after the audit revealed repeated denial of care. No scandal on television, no dramatic takedown, just accountability, handled quietly. Marina was offered a leadership role in the new hardship care program. At first she refused. "I'm a nurse," she told Caleb. "Not some charity face." "You're the reason the program will understand people," he said. She hated how much she believed him. So she accepted, but only after negotiating better staffing, paid training, and real emergency funds for patients. Caleb watched her across the conference table that day, proud but careful not to claim her strength as his discovery. That was when Marina began to trust him. Not because he was rich, because he was learning. 1 month later, Caleb invited her and Lily to a small lakeside park after work. The sky was pink and gold, and Lily ran ahead with a kite that refused to fly. Marina stood beside Caleb near the water. "You know," she said, "the first night I met you, I thought you were hiding something." "I was." "I also thought you were scared." He nodded. "I was that too." She turned toward him. "And now?" Caleb looked at Lily laughing in the grass. "Now I'm still scared, just less alone." The words landed gently. No perfect speech, no impossible promise, just truth. Caleb reached into his coat and took out the antique ring box again. Marina's breath caught. He didn't kneel right away. "I know this started strangely," he said. "And I know kindness isn't the same as love. You don't owe me anything because you helped us." Marina's eyes softened. "But I love the way you see people," he continued. "I love that you challenge me. I love that Lily feels safe around you. And I love who I'm becoming when I'm honest with you." He lowered to one knee. "Not for drama, for respect." "Marina Vale, would you let me build a life with you? Slowly, properly, and without secrets?" Lily stopped running. The kite finally lifted behind her, catching the wind at the exact wrong beautiful moment. Marina covered her mouth, laughing through tears. "Yes," she whispered. Caleb closed his eyes for 1 second, like relief had humbled him. When he slid the ring onto her finger, it didn't feel like a billionaire's prize. It felt like a promise. Later, they sat together on the grass while Lily leaned against Marina's side, half asleep. The city lights blinked across the lake. Marina looked at the ring, then at Caleb. "You know I'm still keeping my job." Caleb smiled. "I was counting on it." Lily mumbled. "Does this mean Nurse Marina is family now?" Marina glanced at Caleb. Then she kissed the top of Lily's head. "If she wants me," Marina said softly, "I'd like that very much." Caleb took her hand. No crowd cheered. No cameras flashed. But somewhere between a rainy clinic, a quiet dinner, and a kite finally catching the wind, 3 lonely hearts had found something stronger than rescue. They had found a home,